which came. So there was all of us top jumpers in the playing for us. We were stacked. We had Miss Cooper and Miss Cooper. That was our team, all joke. So we just romped the league last year. And then it's like up to state one again. And then everyone's like, whoa, it's not what we're here for. And so Millsy's just signed at Sandringham back in state 3, which is closer to me than Bayside. And so Millsy's busted me and Marlon now, come to Sandy, come to Sandy. That's what I mean, like last year at Bayside, our midfield 3 was me, Scott Jammers and Miss Cooper. And like state league, they'd pin me off and go, what is this? and Miller Seward. Yeah, he was literally missing games to go on international break, coming back playing state 2. Like, dude. Huh? Yeah, I'll get it off him. Oh, yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, mic's up. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Geneseo Stadium for round 7 in the NPL Victoria. And it's a titanic clash for you tonight. Preston Lions versus Oakleigh Cannons, 3rd versus 4th. The reigning champions visiting the newly promoted Preston. But the night is going to begin on a rather sombre note. A minute's silence for the victims of the tragic nightclub fire in Kochani, which claimed the lives of 59 people. Our hearts go out to the families of all those affected, including members of the Macedonian diaspora right here in Melbourne.
It took place in the Macedonian town of Kochani earlier this week, where at least 59 people sadly lost their lives, and over 150 were injured following a fire during a concert performance at a local nightclub. In support, this evening we are collecting donations with funds to be distributed directly to those in need, and we also have a QR code up on the big screen should you wish to make an online donation via the Macedonian Red Cross. And now, if you're able to, we invite you to shine your phone lights as a tribute, and please be upstanding and join with the players, referees and team officials as we observe a minute's silence to mourn the passing of all those young lives sadly lost.
A really poignant moment here. A minute's silence impeccably observed around the ground with supporters lighting up their flashlights for the 59 people who lost their lives in the fire in Kochani. Again, our hearts go out to the families of the victims. To the football then, and Louis Etsevsky has made 2 enforced changes from the Preston Lions side that went down 3-1 against league leaders Avondale last week. In come Connor Bell and Marcus Schroen. Leighton Brooks and John Albano were both forced from the field in the first half against Avondale. Bon Scott keeps his spot alongside an unchanged back four of Stefan Nigro, Aaron Anderson, Matt Bozanovsky and Dom Felino. Oli Kubalay and Emil Payos in midfield, as well as Luke Jego with Jason Romero in an attacking role. On the bench, 3 changes. Brandon Lawton is suspended after his red card off the bench against Avondale. Lucas Trenkovsky retains his place as the backup keeper. So too, the Giorgio Serdenis and Noah Spaseski. Jake Trykovsky comes in as well as 2 teenagers, Sammy Dibb, who debuted against Heidelberg in round 4, and a potential senior debut for Tommy Lee Mangos. For Oakleigh, unchanged after they went down 2-1 against St Albans Dynamo last week. Nick Feely between the sticks, a back 4 of Brodie Boyce, Jordan Hall, Ajak Dayu and Connor Hampson. Matthew Dench will continue to play further forward at left wing with Joe Knowles on the right, Harry Arneson and Kingsley Sinclair in the midfield. The captain, Joe Guest, as always in the number 10 role. 4 goals for him already this season behind Alex Salmon up front. Just one change on the bench for Chris Taylor. Pierce Waring comes in for Luke Mensink. Lockie Hart, Asad Kasumovic, Adem Duratovic, Roy Gregory and Campbell Strong are the changes. And we are away at Jenna Steele Stadium. Preston have played 6 of the first 7 games of the season against last season's top 6, so it's been an absolute murderer's row for the Preston Lions. But this unbelievably tough run of fixtures comes to an end next week. And they're running short on reinforcements, especially in attacking areas with Brooks Albano, Jonas Markovski and Xander Guy all injured. My name is Josh Parrish and I'm delighted to be joined by a 5-time NPL Victoria Championship winner in commentary tonight in Tyson Holmes. Tyson, welcome. How on earth does Louis Otsevsky cope with the loss of so many attacking players?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. It's great to be here. Yeah, look, obviously
we'll stay with play just briefly here as Guest lays it off, and it's a big early chance for Kingsley Sinclair, who spoons it over the top. Well, Oakleigh on the front foot early, Tyson, but I'll let you resume your point.
Yeah, obviously at the start of the season, the attacking depth that Louis Otsevsky managed to sign, I think everyone was taken a bit by shock with how some of the quality signings that they made and the depth that they would have had, but they could never probably foresee what the unfortunate injuries they've had. And now you've got the likes of Luke Jago playing out in the right wing today, so they're just having to deal with what they've got at the moment.
Early ball in from Dench, knotted down by Salmon. Off the chest of Bozanovsky, says referee Lockie Keebers. Foligno up the line to Bell. Tyson, you played with quite a few of these Oakleigh players en route to the championship in 2022. You were wearing the armband that season as well, so I'm sure you know a lot of these boys really well.
Yeah, I sure do. Obviously, there's only a few of them left from that year. A lot have moved on. Obviously, you can see Ollie Kublai wearing red tonight instead of the Oakleigh white. So, yeah, Oakleigh they've managed to keep their consistent depth, and you saw probably in 2023 they fell just short, but then they fixed that again last year, so they're the reigning champions. So Chris Taylor always builds a good squad and good side, so he never really has a dip in momentum.
While the squad may have changed and morphed since that season, Chris Taylor always likes to keep his circle pretty tight, usually relying on the same core group of players. It's been a different story for Louis Otsevsky. CT on his way to the championship last season used only 22 players the whole year. Louis Otsevsky used 27, and the year before, incredibly, 39.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's obviously, I think CT's well renowned around the league for the players that he trusts, or if they're getting the results, he'll reward those players every week. He's not one to rotate through the squad too much if he doesn't feel like he has to. Obviously, someone of Louis Otsevsky and the way probably he plays and the squad he builds, they try and use more of that depth. But yeah, CT goes with what he knows and what he trusts every week.
This is Connor Bell. Turning on the accelerator and then jinking inside. Early ball in the direction of Schroen, who takes it on the chest and rattles the crossbar. Marcus Schroen inches away. What a goal that would have been. And it was a lovely take. Tyson, should he score from there?
Oh, look, based on his first touch, you'd then say yes. I think the first touch set that up. It was a difficult chance, you know. Marcus is playing as a makeshift 9 tonight. He's always been a player that's been dangerous.
Oh, here goes Connor Bell again, jinking past Boyce. Romero cleared off the line. Unbelievable. Connor Bell causing Oakleigh all sorts of problems down that flank. And Romero so nearly had his second of the campaign. Goodness me, what a timely defensive clearance for Oakleigh. Kubalay, Schroen. Foligno stepping in field onto his favoured right boot. Finding Negro on the other side. Foligno a long way from home at left back. Ball spills out to Payos, I should say. It's been an open start to the game. You can barely get a sentence out before there's another chance, mate.
Yeah, that's true. Obviously, look, talk about Schroen's chance. I think that one from Romero, a player of his experience and class, I think he'll be kicking himself for not putting that one away. But it was a great goal line clearance from Connor Hampson. You know, they're the little things that keep you in a game. And against the Chris Taylor coach side, you don't get too many of those chances without being punished.
Negro with a lovely weighted pass. Schroen cuts it back in the direction of Romero! And cleared again. It's off Bell and behind for a goal kick. Jordan Hall looking around at his teammates saying, where on earth is the marking? Well, it so nearly could have been 1-0 Oakleigh. Now it could be 3-0 Preston.
Yeah, Oakleigh have to try and stem this tide here. They need to regroup a bit and get this sorted before they do end up 1-0 down.
Desperation defending, throwing bodies in the way. Oakleigh have had their cage rattled, but they've emerged unscathed. We've spoken a lot already about Preston's injuries. Oakleigh missing Jacob Tratt and Cam McGilt for the second week in a row. Those are two absolute pillars.
Yeah, definitely. I've spoken to a couple of boys actually, and obviously losing Cam in that midfield. I know he's very vocal. I think he leads a lot with his voice as well. They're playing Kingsley Sinclair in there at the moment, which is, that's what they've got. But I think they're missing the likes of Cam McGill, and I'm sure Jacob Tratt at the back is just the same with his leadership.
Romero trying to jink his way past Boyce. Payos. Nice combination and lashed goalwards by Dom Foligno. Well, he doesn't score many. And he's never scored for Preston. That would have been some way to open your account.
Ollie Kubalay appears to be pushing himself a lot further in this game as well. I'm not sure if he's probably trying to get one up against his old side here.
Well, maybe contrary to what most people have expected, Kubalay's been given a little bit more offensive freedom with Payos sitting a lot deeper in front of the back four as that deep-lying playmaker. Jego. Bit of tidying up to do for Negro. It's off Dench, and he has to concede a throw. It has been high octane right out of the gate. Salmon. Joe Guest takes over. Looking for Boyce. Foligno puts it into touch. Guest again. An awkward bobble and he miscontrols it. Uncharacteristic from the Oakleigh captain. Romero trying to punch one through the lines. Bell wrestling with Dayu, but the flag was up for offside. Sinclair. Hampson. Acres of space in front of him, Connor Hampson. The left-footed cross is deflected away by Negro. And then Kubalay got a foot in. Bell for Schroen, has to stretch and can't get there. It spills again for Kubalay. He has to knock it into space down the left himself. Connor Bell had tucked inside. Romero for Schroen. Helps it on to Negro. Preston have numbers here again. Now Jego. Whipped into the back stick towards Bell. It was away by Boyce and cleared by Hampson. Negro. And another flag up against Luke Jego this time. Well, what have you made of these opening exchanges, Tyson? Preston dictating things when I think most people considered them underdogs tonight with the form guide and the injuries.
Yeah, they sure are. They've obviously both teams are coming off a loss from last week, but Preston seem the more hungry to not let that happen again tonight. They've been all over Oakleigh, but you know Oakleigh can be renowned for weathering storms like this, and then they could in the blink of an eye you could end up 1 or 2-0 down against a team like this. So I think Preston just need to stay focused and try and take one of these chances. Oakleigh at the moment, they're struggling to actually get their foot on the ball. Preston are dictating everything with the ball at their feet, and when Oakleigh are getting it, they're only managing to string 1 or 2 passes together before giving it away.
Well, they do play fairly direct attacking style on their home deck at Jack Edwards Reserve, but the pitch is so much smaller than the deck here at BT Connor. Maybe it doesn't translate quite as smoothly.
Yeah, of course. There's there's a lot of very good power runners in the Oakleigh Cannons team. Joe Guest is obviously renowned for his third man running, and he'll run all day in behind an Alex Salmon as well. So on a bigger pitch, it takes its toll on you. So I think Preston are probably aware of that and figure the more they can keep the ball, then they can make Oakleigh work defensively rather than with the ball.
Kubalay offering short. Negro goes back to Bozanovsky. Anderson now. Finding the feet of Connor Bell, starting his first game of the season. After the injury right at the back end of the campaign last year, which he played through. Preston fans scarcely need reminding, rather, of Connor Bell's heroics in the last game of last season. It's been a slow road back for him in the off-season after 3 successive substitute appearances. By necessity, he's called upon to start tonight. Bozanovsky for Negro, a lot behind that pass. Jego, Negro. Nice combination play with Kubalay, who floats one over in the direction of Bell. Headed back towards Nick Feely, and there was a moment of hesitation from Ajak Dayu. Almost a costly half second of confusion between central defender and goalkeeper. Kubalay. Negro. Kubalay has just been everywhere tonight, reminding Oakleigh what they're missing. Payos. Anderson. Kugelay. Picked off easily by Hampson. Deo. Boyce. Foligno stepping in ahead of Joe Knowles. Now Payos. Kugelay. Negro making the run inside. Kugelay hit the deck. Play goes on with Jago heading down for Schroen. The cut back for Romero this time! He makes good on the chance. Preston lead. And you can't say they haven't deserved it. And it's third time lucky for Jason Romero.
For the Preston line, number 17, Jason Romero.
He hasn't scored since the deflected effort in round one against Hume City. He's been far more lively tonight. Bit of a defensive breakdown for Oakleigh there, Tyson.
Yeah, as you said, it was third time lucky, but you know that's about their fourth or fifth big chance. There's a real difference in intensity between the two teams when Oakleigh have the ball. Preston are not happy and they're all screaming at each other and they're pressing extremely hard. They're not happy to let Oakleigh have the ball. When Preston have the ball, we don't see that same intensity at the moment from Oakleigh. They're happy to let them have it, but here they go.
Here's Knowles driving it in. Danger cleared, Arneson. And Deo coming in just ahead of Bell to stop the counter-attack. Well, it was a good set of forward play by Salmon there with the little layoff at the near post, but they just couldn't connect.
Yeah, obviously Oakleigh were without Salmon in the first couple of weeks, and I think everyone knows in the league when he's going, he's up there with the best striker going round in this competition. So to have him back, and if they can get him, fit and firing, scoring goals again, then it's good for Alex and it's good for Oakleigh.
Just looking back at that opening goal, Oakleigh had a couple of chances to clear the danger before the ball did eventually find the back of the net. Sure, the Oakleigh coaching staff won't be best pleased with that one.
Yeah, it seems very quiet in the Oakleigh team at the moment. There's a lot of looking round and, not much fixing at the moment. So they need to try and get on top of this because with the chances Preston are creating with their movement and ball possession, it could potentially get worse here.
Bozanovsky for Payos. I'll say credit to Marcus Schroen as well for the assist, playing an unfamiliar role, but one he's looking to make his own this season. I've known him throughout his career as more of a box-to-box midfielder, but perhaps as he enters his distinguished elder statesman phase, maybe the striker role could suit him.
Yeah, obviously Marcus was unfortunate. I think he had a few bad knee injuries as well throughout his career. So, as he is getting a bit older now and the legs are probably not working like they used to, he's looking very comfortable up there at the moment in the number 9 role. He's been the centre of everything at the moment.
Arneson shoved to the ground by Kugelay, and he won't get away with that one. Flipped forward by Hampson. sure Preston fans were scratching their heads when they saw the team line up with a couple of players playing in very unfamiliar positions, but it's all flowed pretty smoothly so far tonight. Luke Jego taking to a out-and-out wing roll like a duck to water.
Yeah, Luke's clearly, he's a very tidy player, and he's a smart player. So I think he's the type of player you could probably play him anywhere except for probably in goals, and he'd do a job for you. So he's shown that, just his intensity as well in his pressing, like you just see here. He hasn't given up on anything at the moment, and if you can get the ball to his feet, he's actually quite tidy.
Yes. Trowan applying the pressure. Just a little bit of contact on young Matthew Dench, letting him know he's there.
Yeah, Preston are clearly up for this, and that's why they're asking a few questions at the moment, so Oakleigh need to try and do something here.
I was surprised when I saw Oakleigh unchanged from last week, given they hadn't lost a home game at Jack Edwards Reserve against Dynamo ever.
Yeah, CT's obviously, he was obviously still happy enough with what he saw. As I said, CT's not the type to make a lot of changes, in particular in one game. So he's stuck with the first 11, and he's probably put it on them now to go and fix what happened last week.
Albeit they did go down 2-1, but they did have a number of chances not converted. Could have levelled the game, particularly a one-on-one for Alex Salmon in the second half. One of the most outrageous eye-of-the-needle through balls I've ever seen from Joe Guest in that game.
Yeah, I think Alex Salmon will be kicking himself with that one last week, but you can't give him many more of those in the season, because a fit and firing Alex Salmon won't miss those too many times. But you're right, Joe Guest is definitely, he's a linchpin with everything that Oakleigh creates, so the more they can actually get him on the ball, Preston are dealing with him at the moment very well, but they're just nullifying the ball getting to him in dangerous areas.
So Sinclair out to Hampson. Dench. Salmon wants it to feet and will get it. Matt Bozanovsky following him all the way. Arneson goes for the safety of Dayu. Boyce. Touch spoons up, and Don Foligno shows Brody Boyce what he thinks of that first touch. Hammers it down the other end of the field and allows Preston to push that defensive line even higher. Arneson has the radar up, looking for Dench. He was trying to prompt the run of Joe Guest, who was probably 5 or 10 metres short of where he needed to be to get that pass. Oakleigh win it back anyway. Guest for Dench. Salmon, a little 1-2. Dench sliding in and winning a corner.
A name we haven't said much yet is obviously Joe Knowles. I don't think Oakleigh are looking for him nearly as much. He just made a great run that went unrewarded. They need to start actually, I don't think some of the Oakleigh players know what they've got out there, because he's only been there for a few weeks, so the more they can get him on the ball. Once again, I think Preston have done their homework though to take him and Joe Guest out of the game.
In-swinging delivery to the back stick, and Bon Scott opts for the punch. Ball will fall to Dayu. Don't think that's quite what he intended. And he cops a few ironic jeers from the home crowd. Now Preston away in transition. Foligno took his time. Anderson with a raking switch. Jego. Oakleigh have numbers back in the box now, and Dayu clears the danger with Connor Bell barrelling in. And an intelligent spin from Joe Guest. Away from Negro, earns the pressure relieving free kick. One for the end of season blooper reel from Ajak Dayu up the other end. Hampson goes early. Sinclair's made a great burst from deep midfield. Kubelay's tracking him down. Ball stays in play, and it's out for a goal kick. Well, Oakleigh thought they had a corner. Joe Guest is furious, and he's going to be booked for his protests.
That's Ollie Kubelayh doing what he does best there. He's a bit of an unsung hero. I know he definitely was that at Oakleigh. He does a lot of groundwork, covers the ground so well, and makes a lot of important challenges and interceptions like that. Little things that probably go slightly unnoticed, but when you've got him on your team, trust me, you appreciate it.
And when a midfielder makes a burst like that up to the top left corner of the pitch, most midfielders would say, "Oh, centre back, cover me. Full back, cover me."
Ollie loves that. He'll do that all day. You know, he's not renowned probably going forward and getting in the front third, but that stuff in the back two thirds, he'll do that every day for his teammates, and that's probably why he's been so successful in the last 5-6 years.
Why there was such a tug of war in the off-season between Preston trying to pinch him and Oakleigh trying to keep him.
Yeah, and rightly so. I think he's only about 25 at the moment, and I remember when he actually came to Oakleigh a few years ago when CT brought him in, and that was where we had myself, Fashini and Joe Guest in the midfield, and he was probably brought in to be the understudy. And in pre-season, Matt Fashini went to absolutely kick someone in a pre-season game when he broke his own leg, and it gave Ollie a window to actually play, and CT literally has never taken him out of the midfield since. Poor Fashini ended up having to come back and play right back.
Jago ruled offside. Luitzevski having words with the assistant. Boyce down the line. Foligno. Tidy stuff from the Melbourne City Academy graduate. Back to Bon Scott. He takes the safe option. Arneson. It's a difficult header to deal with. It's off Hampson and out for a throw-in. Chris Taylor appealing for a high foot. I sense a bit of frustration starting to seep in for the Oakleigh players. You know their usual level is well above this.
Yeah, of course, and the bit of life's gone out of the game since that goal at the moment, actually. And, you know, Preston have just been patient keeping the ball, and here they go, they're opening them up again.
Beyond here, Jago was trying to bend it around the outside for Bell, who was making the run infield. Well, they were away, and it was that little layoff from Schroen playing as the back-to-goal target man.
Yeah, it's those second and third phase runs that some of the Preston players are doing when they're not on the ball. They're moving and giving each other a lot of options. Every time a Preston player gets the ball at the moment, there's 2 or 3 options and runs in behind, and it's causing a bit of chaos for Oakleigh. They still can't work it out at the moment.
Bozanovsky's header. Hampson unopposed. Kubelayh taking over. The pass didn't quite match the turn, but he'll settle for a throw. Knowles getting the better of Foligno. Still Joe Knowles to the byline. Clips it towards the back post for Dench, who'll run it down. Arneson. Quick switch of play out to Boyce. Boyce with the low delivery is cut out. And the pass from Foligno was just too central for Jago, but you can see them looking for that quick release.
Yeah, he's just unfortunately played that too central, but Jago had an acre of space out here if he had have played that ball a bit better to Jago's advantage.
Don Foligno has been thrust into that left-back role, which another turnover here from Oakleigh. So we'll stay with play. Bell. Schroen just looking for Romero. Breaks down again for Oakleigh. Can't turn Preston the other way in transition. Usually the Oakleigh brand is you turn it over, we go up the other end, quick, smart and punish you.
Yeah, it's just not clicking at the moment. They when they're winning the ball, they're all just so deep, and then there's a massive gap between everyone else and Alex Salmon. So they need to try and actually start linking up a bit better. But as you can see, as soon as they have the ball, Preston are just all over them at the moment. They're pressing in numbers of 2 and 3, and whereas you see now when Preston have the ball, they've got a lot more time than what the Oakleigh players are getting given.
And Foligno, the big win. Dayu has to come clean out with the ball and does. And now can Oakleigh break? Knowles, who's been scarcely involved in this first half, turning on the afterburners, drives it towards the near post. Superbly defended by Aaron Anderson.
They're the exact sort of moments against an Oakleigh team that you can blink and it could be 1-1 there. That's what they need to do. They need to get Joe Knowles into...
Oh, he's missed it. Bon Scott came and didn't collect. And Preston have been punished. Who else but Joe Guest? Talk about a blink of an eye. The cannons level on the road. A moment of hesitation in the Preston 6-yard box. And that's all the Cannons needed.
Yeah, Preston unfortunately obviously paying for the lack of goals. They've been dominating, but as we've said, the Oakleigh team, you can have all the play in the world, but if you don't punish them, they will eventually get a goal, and it usually will come from nothing like that. Joe Guest making another run into the 18-yard box. That's why he scores so many goals, because he does those runs that a lot of players would have given up on there.
That's a lesson for young players as well. Just gamble. You never know when a defender might miss a ball, and there might be a miscommunication. Just gambles on the mistake, and he is rewarded richly for it. 5 goals this season already for Joe Guest in just 7 games. That is a real gut punch for Preston after acquitting themselves so well in the early exchanges.
Yep.
Generating so many clear-cut chances. And now Oakleigh have their tails up. Salmon winning it back and Sinclair driving forward. He's got Salmon on the outside. Sinclair went for goal. Oh, and they don't clear the danger, Preston, as Salmon drives from the angle and forces Scott into a good reflex save.
This is what Preston do not want at the moment, is Oakleigh with their tails up, obviously leading into half-time. Preston could blink here and they could be 2-1 down if they're not careful.
It's Joe Guest's corner. Right on the money. That's where you want it, but no Oakleigh head connecting. Romero assessing his options. Looking for Bell. A rather hopeful pass in the end. Hampson hooks it forward. Salmon can't be involved. Preston bench wanted a flag for offside. They are going to bring it back, I think. And it's the central referee, Lockie Keevers, who makes the decision. Salmon wasn't attempting to play the ball, but he was a training cone in the way of the defender that they had to duck around.
Yeah, Alex definitely knew what he was doing there. He was positioning himself well.
Payos helps it on for Oakleigh. Negro. Oakleigh. Bozanovsky. Finding Payos. Advance through the lines. Now Foligno looking for Schroen, who stayed on side here. And industrious work to win a corner. Emil Payos on set-piece duties. Plenty to aim for in the box. Schroen's up for it. Nick Feely comes with the punch over the top. Knowles. The only runner is Dench, and he couldn't find him. Foligno advancing up the line to where the ball crossed. And Schroen couldn't stretch for it. Boyce will start again. Jordan Hall gallivanting through the gap. Dayu finding Knowles. Burns Schroen on the outside. Knowles to the byline. Bozanovsky in the way. Arneson to Boyce. I said Oakleigh couldn't get a foot on the ball, couldn't string more than a couple of passes together. Look at them now. Amazing what a bit of confidence can do for you after an equaliser.
Exactly right. Every time they've got the ball out wide as well to Joe Knowles at the moment, he's got him behind.
Dayu turns it over, straight to Jego. Romero sending Arneson this way, and that's Oakleigh. Just wrong footing Schroen. Away comes Guest. And this is where Oakleigh can be so dangerous. Joe Knowles standing up for Lino. Still Knowles stepping inside and going for goal. And the shot lacked any real purchase of his weaker left boot. It's just off balance. Negro asked a lot of Jego. Arneson. Hall. Spot to find Salmon. Guest. They've got numbers around the ball, Oakleigh. Dench to whip it in. To the top of the box for Salmon, whose shot was wayward. First 20 minutes, Joe Knowles was absolutely starved of service. Now, He seems to be the fulcrum every time they come down that right side. Preston are at panic stations.
Yeah, definitely. The more Oakleigh can get the ball out wide to Joe Knowles. Obviously, it's great to, for Joe to be back in this league. Obviously, he left the league for a year or two, but obviously everyone saw in that 2022 year what a fabulous player he is, and when he's on fire, there's not many people in the league that can actually stop him.
13 goals from the wing in 2022, en route to a championship, and then a promotion. He got his opportunity in the A-League with Brisbane Roar and then Hyderabad in India.
Yeah, I don't think it's a fluke that success follows him wherever he goes. That 2022 year, we used to have a no-look policy. Don't even look if he's there. We just had to give the ball out wide. That was basically our team talk before every game, give the ball to Joe. Either Joe's actually, Joe Guest or Joe Knowles, and get and support them. So, yeah, Knowlesy was huge for us this year, and I'm sure he's going to play a big role in Oakleigh's success this year.
Well, both captains having words with the referee. Shrowan at one end, Guest at the other. Lockie Keever's letting it flow. Scott. Bozanovsky. Anderson. He's trying to find the feet of Foligno. Hampson. Flips it up the line for Dench. Muscled off it by Negro. Anderson goes the direct route. Bell can only flick it on. Dayu under a bit of pressure here. Shrowan hits the deck. No whistle and a goal kick. Three minutes plus stoppages to play in what's been a very watchable first half here between two NPL Victoria heavyweights.
Yeah, Preston obviously started all guns blazing. Their movement and ball possession was causing a hard time for Oakleigh, but that's kind of gone out of their game at the moment. They're probably all a bit tired. They've lost those runs in behind, and they're not playing the ball as forward as often as they were in that first 20 minutes. So as you can see, Oakleigh are now actually getting themselves on the ball, and they've played themselves back into this game.
Just feel as if Preston didn't make hay while the sun was shining. They had 3 or 4 golden opportunities, only converted 1.
Yeah, unfortunately with Oakleigh, it doesn't actually take them to have too many opportunities to put the game to bed. So you've got to be clinical, especially on nights like this, coming off a loss. 2 heavyweight teams, so I'm sure they'll reassess at half time and fix things for the second half.
Anderson. Payos. Connor Bell brings it under his spell. Quick footwork from Bell, but no way past Boyce, who's come off second best. It's an accidental collision between those two. Maybe caught one in the face there, Brodie Boyce. see the board from Puya Gadirian. Looks like there will be 2 minutes added in a moment. Boy seems fine to continue. Coming together with Foligno, and that's a free kick for Preston in a very promising attacking position. Right on the stroke of half-time as well. In their last meeting in the Doherty Cup, it was Oakleigh who took the lead in first half stoppage time through Cam McGill at this end. Can Preston give the Cannons a taste of their own medicine? Vujaciewski urging his players to take a risk. It's Romero's free kick to the near post and headed behind for a corner. And after all that build-up, a rather disappointing end result.
Yeah, it looked like Emil Payos was wanting to secretly creep into the edge of that box there, and he was trying to do it discreetly, and Vujaciewski was screaming at him, which he was looking at Louis as if to say, be quiet, I'm trying to sneak in there.
Don't blow my cover.
And Alex Salmon saw it and stepped in front of him to block it off.
Payos with the corner. Schrowen's in there. Feely again comes to punch, and there's an infringement spotted by Lockie Keevers. Feely. Not the best free kick from the goalkeeper. And Lachlan Keevers brings the first half to a close. It's all square at Geneseo Stadium. Preston had so much of the early running. Chance after chance for Marcus Stroman and Jason Romero, and eventually it was those two who combined for the opener. Stroman's cut back. Romero finding the back of the net for the first time since round one. But one mistake was all it took to undo all of Preston's good work. A cross whipped in by Brodie Boyce from the right. It was neither here nor there for defence and goalkeeper. And who else but Joe Guest gambling at the back stick to tuck it home into an empty net for his 5th of the season and Oakleigh's leveller. Tyson Holmes, your thoughts on an eventful first half?
Yeah, I think it was a half of two halves. As we've said, Preston were clearly on top for that first 20 minutes and didn't take their chances. And Oakleigh in that back half, the more they got Joe Knowles, Alex Salmon, Joe Guest on the ball, they just started creating and just crept themselves back into that game. Just with little moments, and obviously they've got their reward. They've gone in 1-1, and it'll give both coaches, CT and Vujaciewski, a chance to reassess and try and fix some things, and hopefully come out and have a big second half.
This one delicately poised for the neutral. Don't go anywhere. Second half coming up soon at Geneseo Stadium. The halftime score: Preston Lions 1, Oakleigh Cannons 1.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, in light of the Charming tragedy, the Tasmanian community will be providing following Sunday, the 30th of March, the community visual and public awareness gathering will be held at the Macedonian Community Centre in High Street in Epping at 6 p.m. At this event, there will be an opportunity for all those who wish to make a donation to help the victims of the Preston tragedy.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Mic's up.
Vehicle over to move their vehicle. Thank you.
Welcome back to Jenna Steele Stadium. Preston Lions 1, Oakleigh Cannons 1 at half-time. Jason Romero's opener cancelled out by Joe Guest. And all to play for in the second 45. Josh Parrish here alongside Tyson Holmes. Tyson, it was a first half of two halves, as you dubbed it. What are you expecting in the second?
Yeah, I think obviously both teams are going to come out and try and rectify this and probably get the early lead. So I'm assuming that Oakleigh will probably fix some of those issues that they were dealing with in the first 20 minutes of that first half. So we'll see how the teams actually pan out here. But by the looks of it, there's been no changes made, so probably just a few tactical things internally.
No personnel changes at the break. Preston with this slightly makeshift lineup. Marcus Strohan playing as the number 9, which he had a couple of times this season, and Luke Jego on the right flank. Joe Knowles, who has grown in prominence as the match has progressed. Dench finding an overlap in Connor Hampson. Off Negro and behind for the first corner of the second half. Oakleigh are so dangerous off set pieces. Joe Knowles with the in-swingers from the left, Guest from the right. That's silver service. Dench, Hampson contesting, showing out to clear the danger. Preston left 2 up on the halfway line there. They were leaving as many as 4 up against South Melbourne, just trying to clear out the penalty area. Now, Luke Jego with the turn of pace, but Nick Feely was there in time to clear it over the top of the grandstand. Whenever I see Oakleigh taking a corner, Tyson, I'm always watching for the run of Connor Hampson darting to the near post. 10 goals in just over 50 games in NPL Victoria. That's not a bad return for a left back.
No, it's unheard of. I think that first year he turned up, he caught the whole league by surprise, and people started knowing about it, but they still actually couldn't stop him. I know him and Joe Guest used to laugh about it every time that Guest would take a corner, and it seemed like Connor would head it in, but we haven't seen it in a while now, so tonight's probably the night that if he could bring that out, it would it would be good for Chris Taylor and the Oakleigh Cannons.
Certainly would. I think it was something like 7 of those 10 goals in the first season he was here, which is just outrageous for a fullback. Almost all of them from set-piece scenarios.
Yeah, you look at him and you don't see him as an actual overly tall person, but the way he just attacks the ball.
It's Payos's delivery, Strohan, Bell! Preston back in front. It's Connor Bell who is Johnny on the spot to tuck it home. The grandstand erupts. 2 in 2 weeks for Belly. Back in the starting lineup, and he's loving it. And similar to Oakleigh's goal in the first half, some real uncertainty in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, Preston have created an early chance here like they did in the first half, but the difference here is they've taken it. So if Preston can take 1 or 2 more of those, well, obviously the game will be put to bed, but as what they saw in the first half, if they don't keep their foot on the game here, that Oakleigh can work their way back in.
It was Payos with the cross. Strohan darting unmarked to the near post, but couldn't connect. Maybe just grazed it to help it on to Connor Bell. If you're generous, you'll give it to him for his second assist of the night. Sinclair looking to respond immediately. Kozanovski stoops to head away.
That's one player that has impressed me so far this year. I've watched quite a few of Preston's games, and Emil Payos in midfield, he just seems to be so calm and link everything together for Preston. And he's allowing the freedom to players like Oakleigh to be a bit more free and get higher up the ground and work around, while every time Emil gets the ball, he just seems to be so calm and controlled. For a young player, he's very technically gifted, and I think it's been a great pickup for Preston.
Guests finding Knowles. Knowles into the area. Bond Scott well held. The shot was just too close to the Preston custodian. Big chance for Oakleigh, that. Payos for Bell. Payos finding Schrowen's feet, and now Connor Bell looking very lively in this second half. There's Kubalay in support. Going back to Payos to switch the point of attack. Although he saw him play intermittently for South Melbourne last season as a winger or an attacking midfielder, Emil Payos might struggle to believe the role he's taken on this season for Preston, but credit to the coaching staff who saw that potential in him. Negro winning it back for the home side. Romero. Jago. Schrowen's free on the penalty spot, but just couldn't find him. Still Jago. Another chance to cross. He'll settle for a corner. You wouldn't really know he's a central midfielder by trade from his performance tonight. Luke Jago looking very comfortable there.
Yeah, obviously he's a great attacking player, and he's a smart player as well. So he's one you want to have in your team.
Payos lofting it high. Feely comes. Knocked back into the danger zone by Foligno. It's all the way in, but it won't count. Marcus Schrowen penalised for a foul on the goalkeeper. Well, it was nothing more than a speculator from Foligno from well outside the box to just knock it back from whence it came. Nick Feely bundled into his own net along with the ball. Take another look at that one. There is just a little shove from Schrowen, isn't there?
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing there. Trying to just nudge Feely under the ball. Being so close to the goal line.
Well, he might have got away with it if Foligno was lining up from 50 at the MCG, but not on the football pitch, unfortunately, for Marcus Schrowen.
One thing about Schrowen is he's never actually going to let you, he's never going to give anything to you, so that's the type of player he is. He's always going to scrap and battle. And
this is Jago's ball in, Feely underneath it again. And Marcus Schrowen getting in his face. A few mind games going on between the Preston captain and Oakleigh goalkeeper. A risky pass to Daya, who's coughed it up, and here goes Connor Bell. Still Bell, centering for Schrowen. That's an unbelievable save. How did Nick Feely get a piece of that? Point blank range. And Feely makes himself big. Oh, that's outrageous. Great goalkeeping, poor finishing, bit of both.
Unbelievable save that is from Nick Feely. once again, though, Preston having early chances and not putting the game to bed at the moment.
Marcus Schroen can't believe he hasn't scored. Another chance for Preston off the set piece. Well, he saw this pattern in the first half. Oakleigh really rattled coming out of the gate. Preston capitalise on their chances and build more than a one-goal cushion. This is Payos. Just looking back at that Nick Feely stop again. That is top class. Absolutely fearless goalkeeping.
Yeah, that's as good a save as you'll see. And they're the kind of moments where you need your senior players to stand up.
Payos floating it high. Ball drops for Romero. Losing out to Knowles, almost. Just squeezes it back to Foligno. Payos, another chance to cross. Bell battling for it. Corner is the verdict. And the set-piece pressure is relentless on Oakleigh. Corner after corner. Luke Jego to take this time. Maybe just to give Payos a break, he's been charging from one side to the other out of central midfield. Oh, Jegs has had his coach pull rank on him. It's going to be Emil Payos after all. Thinking about the short one here, Preston. Payos whips it in instead. Hampson, it's a brilliant defensive header. Payos again. Feely to punch. And cleared as far as Steph Negro. Negro looking for Payos again. Now that one's just trickled out of play. Unlucky for Emil Payos. It was a nice second touch.
Just like in the first half, Oakleigh seem to be struggling to stop the onslaught at the moment of Preston. It's taking Oakleigh too long to try and fix things here, and if Preston score another goal, then Oakleigh will be really up against it. One thing for sure, Oakleigh will fix it. They will get their moments, but how much damage can be done between now and then?
Magic touch from Bell, and now Payos is going to go into the book here. Must admit, I didn't catch that one, Tyson. You shed any light on that?
By the look of it, and the way Lockie Keever's called for that, I'm assuming Emil's just stomped or stood on Joe Knowles.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just that stretch with the left foot.
Against some players in this league, you might have got away with it, but when you're doing those things to Joe Knowles, I think referees are aware of what you're trying to do.
Kubalay helped on as far as Arneson. Now Salmon takes over. Out to Dench. Chance for Oakleigh to reply. Dench around the outside and forcing a reflex stop from Scott. The follow-up with the header into the side netting. Just stings the palms there, and Dench, who we're more used to seeing as a left-back, just showing a clean set of heels against Stefan Negro for perhaps the first time this evening.
Yeah, he was a bit quiet in the first half, but obviously, as you've said, he's a left-back playing as a left-winger, so he's probably in uncharted territory, but the more he can actually do things like that and have those sorts of moments, I think technically he's shown that he's very good and he can be quite dangerous. A switch of play from Bozanovsky out to Foligno. Going to have to retreat to Anderson.
Risky ball for Payos. And Payos will put it into touch. These are nervy moments when you're trying to play out against Oakleigh and you know one slip up could cost you. Salmon. Given away by Boyce to Schroen. Payos taking on his man. And threading one through for Bell. That's a brilliant pass. Connor Bell chopping inside. Cross straight onto the head of Hampson. Guess. Well, that's the sort of quality we're accustomed to seeing from Joe Guess. Just sips one in like it's nothing to the feet of Dench, who's got it again here, Dench. Off Negro, corner kick.
It's Joe's second phase as well that not many players in the league can go with him. He's played that ball out wide and he sprints harder than anyone in the league. And that's why he's then picked that second ball up again. And he's just so critical to Oakleigh's attack.
He almost shoots that pass into the feet of Dench, just punches it in, and there's just no chance it's getting intercepted.
Yeah, he punches the pass in and then he just takes off, and you know he's going to take off, but you just cannot go with him. He's the hardest runners you'll see going around.
Oakleigh are getting ready to introduce Campbell Strong from the bench with the game's first substitution, but a corner to take place first. Scott punches clear. Diego racing back, can't get there ahead of Guests. Scott flying off his line. Well done in the end by Bond Scott. Knowles has his pocket pick. The ball rolls out to Dayu anyway. Arneson. Salmon. Sinclair. Very neat work from Kingsley Sinclair. Sends Oakleigh a little wide. Joe Knowles winning a corner. And Oakleigh still waiting to make that change. Short corner taken quickly to Guests. Kubalay stretches really well at the near post to clear that one. Oh, magic touch from Knowles. And it's Joe Knowles to drive it in again. Anderson this time. Preston had a succession of corners. Oakleigh got their own opportunity now to work some magic from the dead ball. Keeve is having a long word with Marcus Schroen and Alex Salmon. Guests to the back post this time. Romero away. Payos hooks it up to Connor Bell. Really awkward bounce for him. He thought he was fouled by Knowles. Home fans don't like that one bit. Back the other way goes Dench. Never really had possession of it, Connor Bell. I think that was the issue. And now, Oakleigh will have a free kick, I believe. And they finally get to make that change. Campbell Strong has been waiting patiently for about 5 or 10 minutes now. It's going to be a straight swap in central midfield. Off comes Harry Arneson. Fresh legs in that holding midfield role.
Yeah, that'll be CT trying, obviously, to rectify what's been going on in the midfield at the moment. As we said, similar to the first half, Preston have just been a lot more lively and Oakleigh haven't seemed to be able to work it out and fix things. So I'm sure he's given Strong a few words and directions, and hopefully he passes that on to the other players.
This is Boyce. Strong. Knowles, the layoff for Boyce. Knowles left in a heap. Foligno up the line. Schroen. It's going to be a Preston ball. Going back to Anderson. Salmon hurrying Bon Scott along. It's just come off the arm of Connor Bell, who's not best pleased with the decision. Guest. Strong. Knowles. Knowles to whip it in. Dench. Couldn't get purchase on it. Hampson. Salmon trying to turn goalwards. The touch was too heavy. Knowles. Looked in low. Oakleigh appealing for handball. It's a penalty. Aaron Anderson, the offending party. We'll have to have another look at that one. Maybe a raised arm, but that one will require some slow motion viewing. Tyson, what was your immediate reaction?
To be honest, I didn't actually really have one. Obviously, some of the Oakleigh players went up, and I saw Lockie Keevers look at the linesman. I didn't see anything from the linesman. And then Lockie looked like he just made the decision on his own after a few seconds of thinking about it. So
well, it has come off an arm. It was at very close range. Regardless,
Salmon was obviously adamant about it.
It's Joe Guest from 12 yards. And he doesn't miss many of those. Beats Bon Scott for power. And brings Oakleigh level for the second time in this match. A double for Guest. Preston's coaching staff and bench beneath us absolutely outraged.
Thinking back to that save at the moment from Nick Feely as well.
What a sliding doors moment.
Exactly, could have been 3-1 and now it's 2-2 and game's back into balance.
Gee, Bon Scott got a hand to it as well, but had already chosen to dive left. He'll be a bit disappointed. Guest just hit it as hard as he could, straight down the middle.
Yeah, I think he's learnt from some past ones. In some previous years, he's probably just tried to place things, and they're the ones that have usually been saved. So I think he's gone the no-nonsense approach from then on, and he's been having a lot of success. But another double so far for Guest tonight, which I think is his third double of the season. So he's once again proving why he's one of the most dangerous players in NPL Victoria.
It's an outrageous goal return for a player who's not even an out-and-out striker. He's number 10, but he scores like a striker.
He just seems to also score goals when the team needs things, or if some players are injured and, you know, there's not as many players to rely on. Joe Guest always seems to fly the flag.
Joe Knowles this time. Stooping header from Bozanovsky away. Feels like both times Preston have almost had the game on their terms and failed to close in on the advantage. And Oakleigh just won't go away here.
It's the thing, when Oakleigh do score a goal, they really smell blood and get their tails up. And every time after they score, it's quite often they can score 2 or 3 and actually put the game to bed.
Knowles. It's another inviting ball. And they just get the volume of deliveries into the penalty area is outrageous. I don't know what the crossing stats are, but they must send more balls into the box than any other team.
Yeah, definitely. You know, players like Joe Knowles, Joe Guest delivering.
Oh, it's a bit of a scramble there. Headed goalwards, but blocked by the Preston defence. Second effort at the back stick. Doesn't quite reach Salmon. He's chasing it down against Romero. Hampson wins it back eventually for the visitors. This is Guest. Standing up for Lino. Coming inside onto his left boot. Cross is deflected away. Payos for Bell. At the moment, Preston just can't get out. Again, it was Joe Guest trying to play the killer pass, and he's got licence to do that as many times a game as he likes. They don't all come off, but when they do, they are spectacular, those Joe Guest through balls.
Preston at the moment, when they're in transition, have got the ball, they're playing quite narrow, whereas in the first half, or they've had more joy when they've actually spread the game out wide and got the ball out wide. They haven't been able to do that as quickly and as effectively this half, and that's where if Oakleigh win the ball in that front third or the front half, then they're extremely dangerous.
Bozanovsky. Back to Scott. Has to get rid of it. Hall heading down to Hampson. Strong. Hampson again. And another handball. Stefan Negro. Not happy with that call.
There's clearly been a message sent to Strong as well. Every time he's got the ball since coming on, he's played the ball forward every time. So he's really trying to drive things forward here at the moment and put the pressure back on Preston, which I think it's working.
Guest. Negro. Romero stretching and keeping it alive for Preston. That's a beautiful switch of play out to Jago. Jago to the byline. The cut back lacked a bit of purchase. Maybe that touch was just too heavy.
Yeah, I think he got lost a bit there for options. Oakleigh covered the striker in Marcus Shrine quite well. So he was looking for a cutback, but it probably wasn't there.
Well, Oakleigh had the advantage there, but gave it away. And here goes Bell. Finding Jago again. Bell presenting for the cutback. And standing it up, Felino just flashes wide. It's going to be an injury stoppage here. It's Kingsley Sinclair who's down, I believe. Give you an update on Joe Guest's all-time goals tally here in Victoria. 55 in 132 games. It's not bad going at all for a midfielder.
I think there's quite a few assists in there as well, too. So, yeah, he's
be getting double-digit assists every year. There's outrageous production.
Yeah, he's been an unbelievable pickup for Oakleigh over the years, and I think NPL Victoria as well. You know, you've seen as well on the national stage as well, the Australia Cup and those sorts of things. He's a player for the moment, that's for sure, and he's just shown it year in, year out at the moment.
Knowles showing great strength to get around Foligno, and he's taken down cynically. And Foligno will go into the book, no question about that. Well, I wouldn't want Joe Knowles running at me if I was on a yellow card.
No, I think that's the message that we're going out to him at the moment. Whenever Joe gets the ball now, he'll be attacking as much as he can.
No one in the wall for Preston. Guests. Well done by Payos, who was backpedaling. Romero. Kubalay. Bell wrestled to the ground. Ball hadn't even reached him yet. Negro. Bosanovsky drives the switch. You could see Connor Bell was really frustrated he didn't get the ball earlier in the piece, and then Preston forced into a much lower percentage route to their left flank.
Yeah, as mentioned before, they've had so much more joy when they get the ball out wide as quickly as possible, and that's probably what Connor Bell was feeling. If he can get the ball isolated and early, isolated against his fullback, then you've seen how dangerous of a player he can be.
Foligno. Hampson. Dench. Joe Guest directing traffic for Oakleigh. Knowles has drifted to the left-hand side. Oh, and shows Jego a clean pair of heels. Can't find Salmon. And Preston can't get out. Salmon felt he was held there by Anderson. Play goes on. Hampson strikes for goal. And Bosanovsky in the way, and the ricochet will work out beautifully here for Preston and for Luke Jego. Oakleigh retreating quickly.
Jego gambled a bit there. He looks like he's actually happy to let Connor Hampson go forward, which is a scary thought, but he's probably been told and instructed to just stay out there. So if that exact scenario happens and they win the ball, then he should be out and open in space.
You can't accuse Louis Atsevsky of not rolling the dice for 3 points. He always goes for it, regardless of opposition. Even if it means leaving a few gaps at the back, he'll trust his team to scramble and cover them.
Yeah, and sometimes I guess when your team's created some really good chances like they have in both halves, if they don't take them and not in the lead, then it can force you to change things and be a bit more aggressive and just try and go for the win. Because probably at the moment, he probably, in the back of his mind, probably feels like it's a bit of a loss at the moment, being up twice and now being 2-2. Probably feels a bit hard done by as well by that penalty. So he's trying to right some wrongs here.
Oakleigh. Anderson. Preston haven't beaten Oakleigh since July 30th, 2008. Of course, they've spent a long time out of the top flight of Victorian football. Twice drawn Oakleigh in the Doherty Cup. Once here at BT Connor Reserve in 2023, once at Lakeside. The game ended up being played in 2021 in lockdown, so no fans allowed in the stadium. It was a strange night, that one.
It sure was. It was. I think we ended up winning the game 1-0.
Wade Decker with the goal.
Yeah, that was a common scenario. Wade Decker scoring goals.
Oh, Jago showing a clean set of heels, teeing up Bell. Oh, he couldn't direct it goalwards. It's come off all wrong, the volley. And now the Preston fans go up more in hope than expectation for the handball. Good chance. Connor Bell just couldn't contort his body in time to meet the shot on the volley. It's a great move from Jago, and he crosses again. Misses everybody. Preston, who are yet to go to their bench, will finally make some changes here. Looks like Noah Spisevsky is going to come on. Dench with a bit of room for Oakleigh here. Salmon waiting at the back post with his arm raised. Knowles. Oh, it's off the crossbar. Alex Salmon thought it was in. He cannot believe he's not scored. Darting from the back post to the near. Totally averting the attention of the Preston defence. Snuck in like a thief in the night to the front post. A glancing header, desperately unlucky not to score. Negro. Cut back towards Bell, saved by Feely. Negro would have been offside. Action at both ends. Double change coming from Preston. I think Luiatsevsky wanted to wait to make the change and keep the forward momentum going. Huge chances for both sides, Tyson.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much Alex Salmon knew about that. He did extremely well to at least get something on it and get it towards goal, but I think it was more the ball hit him. Knowles has fired that into him.
Sometimes you just need to stand there and let the ball hit you as a striker.
Exactly right. Knowing Salmon, he would still probably expect himself to score that. Preston have had quite a few chances tonight from those cutback passes as well to the edge of the box.
And that's where the opening goal comes from as well, Tyson. So they keep getting free in those areas. They just can't convert them.
Yeah, exactly. They're creating chances, so that's not the issue. It's just putting them away.
Jago. Good combination play with Negro, who chops onto his left. Boyce with the header away. Guest hooks it clear. Giorgio Sardenis is ready to come on as well. Asad Kasumovic preparing to enter the fray for Oakleigh. Preston have waited until the 85th minute to make changes. And Luke Jago is going to be withdrawn after An admirable shift as a makeshift right winger. Jason Romero off as well.
Double substitution with the Western Lions coming off number 17 Jason Romero and number 8 Luke Jego, being replaced by number 20 Noah Skaseski and number 9 Georgia Silvets.
And Matthew Dench has been withdrawn for Oakleigh. It's got to be an attacking change, you must say. A left back who was playing as a makeshift winger off, and a natural wide forward in Kasumovic coming on who can score goals.
Yeah, he's made a bit of a habit of popping up and scoring some important goals for Oakleigh. So that's what Chris Taylor's obviously hoping for, if he can score a late winner here and become a hero.
Five in the league last season for Asad Kasumovic. Sinclair up to Salmon, beautifully taken on the chest. Guest strikes for glory, and that was always drifting wide. It's just so smooth out. Salmon can take a ball out of the air on his chest in stride. I don't think there's anyone better in the competition than him. Just killing a ball dead out of the sky.
Yeah, it's a dangerous combination having someone like Alex Salmon up top and Joe Guest running around, feeding off him. I know when Salmon was at Gully, they used, and after games, if Joe Guest had scored or Salmon had scored, they had already been sending each other the highlights of the goals. So to have them on the same team, I think they've created a good combination, and I don't think they care who scores the goals out of those two now. Now they're on the same team because they know they're trying to do the same thing.
Close connection off the park, matched by an almost telepathic connection on it. Boyce. It's going to be a Preston ball. Well done by Spasevsky. Schroen can't quite get there ahead of Strong, and then Knowles. Perfect touch. Joe Knowles again. Olsenovsky behind. It's so dangerous for the rest of this game that it's almost incredible to think back and think that we barely saw anything from him in the first 25 minutes. He was anonymous and now he's everywhere.
Yeah, that's obviously the quality of what Joe Knowles brings. You saw his little touch and nutmeg here on Emile, and the way he actually delivers the ball, he delivers it with such speed and quality, and I think that's the difference between a good and a great player. Everything he's done, everything he does is at a high speed and high intensity, and it makes it so hard to defend. That deflection could have gone anywhere.
Speed and intensity. Joe Guest drives it into the 6-yard box. A crowd of players underneath it. Preston trying to get their defensive line up. Coaching staff very animated again. Preston through Spasevsky. So Dennis wants the return. No way past Hampson. Sinclair. It's been such an entertaining game. Two teams with very different styles, but two attacking teams really putting on a show.
Sure has. There's a lot of players that look out on their feet at the moment, but both teams are clearly trying to win this game. No one seems to be happy with the draw.
That's the thing with Chris Taylor sides. They're sort of chameleon teams. If you want to play a really attritional defensive game, I'll say, yeah, we'll do that. We'll try and beat you with that game. If you want to go out all guns blazing, well, they're more than happy to match your attacking intensity.
Yeah, definitely. They're, as you can see, with their running and work rate, they're happy to grind games out. And they've worked their way back into this game here, and it's hard to see who's actually going to take this out at the moment.
This is Sir Dennis. As Nigger on the outside. Outstanding defending from Hampson. 3 minutes go up on the fourth official's board. I would have taken 6 or 7 more minutes of this, Tyson. It's been a great watch.
I thought there would have been a bit more than 3 minutes with the penalty and things like that, but obviously not, unfortunately.
Maybe that's just us hoping for more football than we're going to get. What have the Lions and the Cannons got left in the legs? Bozanovsky. It's a free header for Jordan Hall. Guests brought to the deck. Oakleigh continue with it anyway. No luck for Kasumovic there. He just can't get past Payos. Here goes Bell. Finds the challenge. Switch of play was rather telegraphed for Hampson. Foul. It's clipping the heels from Giorgio Sir Dennis.
Fucking rubbish!
Just over a minute remaining. Looks like we may not get that decisive goal that perhaps the game deserves. Anderson, Salmon nipping in. Alex Salmon to win it. Bon Scott comes up with the save. Danger not cleared for Preston. Knowles from the angle, and again it's blocked. Well, Aaron Anderson is the most relieved man inside Jenner Steel Stadium at the moment. His goalkeeper comes to his rescue.
You cannot be doing those sorts of things with Alex Salmon, Joe Guest, Joe Knowles sniffing around this time of the game.
Guest. Bozanovsky away. Oh, Nick Feely had a game-defining save. Maybe Bon Scott has one now as well. Knowles. Still last chance saloon for Oakleigh. It's flicked on and in! And Oakleigh have won it with the last touch of the game. Asad Kasumovic off the bench has the telling glancing touch. Heartbreak for the Preston Lions, and absolute jubilation for Oakleigh. In fact, I think it was Jordan Hall, Tyson, who flicked it on. Yes, it is the big centre half up from the back who's done the business.
Once again, that was quality work from Joe Knowles. Out wide, he just found a half a yard, and with his left foot, delivered an inch-perfect cross.
Preston with maybe just one more sniff of goal. Time not on their side. Lockie Keevers calls time, and Oakleigh have won it in the most dramatic fashion. Jordan Hall, the hero, at the death. Twice they trailed, twice they fought their way back, and deep, deep into a 4th minute of stoppage time. A glancing header from Jordan Hall has decided an instant classic. What a game.
Unbelievable. I think Preston will feel a bit hard done by with some of their chances and their moments in the game, but I think some of the big players stood up for Oakleigh when it actually counted. You know, I keep thinking back as well to Nick Feely's save to make it 3-1. And then it's the same culprits, Joe Guest, Joe Knowles, doing the business. And it's just a classic Chris Taylor and Oakleigh Cannons game, this one, where Preston probably walk away scratching their head thinking, how did we lose it? But Oakleigh do this time and time again.
The masters of the big moments. The Cannons come up clutch again. Preston will be ruining their missed chances. Romero netted one in the first half, but had a hatful. Marcus Strohan rattling the crossbar, and then in the second, drawing a point-blank range stop from Nick Feely. But it was end-to-end action all night. It could have gone either way. A double from Guest and a late sting in the tail from Jordan Hall means it's the Oakleigh Cannons who'll be celebrating an incredible away victory. Tyson Holmes, massive thank you for your company on the call tonight. You can see the reaction of the Preston supporters who feel they didn't deserve to lose that game, but nothing feels better as a player than to go on the road and pinch one.
Yeah, definitely, especially at a place like Preston. You know, it's a hostile place and not many teams will get points here this year, so Oakleigh will take this and be happy not to have to come back here again, hopefully.
We'll sign off from Genesis Steel Stadium. The final score, Preston Lions 2, Oakleigh Cannons 3.